everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I am Manal Hill Remote Job Wali and I am from Karachi, Pakistan. I am a student of Rahan School, Kuringi campus. Today we have the pleasure of hosting a highly distinguished guest, Ma'am Daniel. Let's extend a warm welcome to our guest and delve into her incredible life journey. So, welcome, ma'am. How are you?
Hello, good evening. Good evening. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you and a privilege to have this experience. I'm very proud of you, first of all. You just are celebrating your 350th interview. So does that make me 351?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. So,
Congratulations.
so now let's, before moving on question, can you please introduce yourself for my viewers?
Yes. Well, I'm Danelle Boyles. I'm from the United States, and although I carry a few different titles, humanitarian is probably one of my main ones. I'm a 20-year educator with the school corporation here in our city, and I am a quantum life path anchoring energy coach. So I kind of balance many things. I'm also an artist, and I have a business called Emotions and Art Healing Studios that is geared towards helping people move into better, higher life paths by um, instilling better choices and energetic guidance through those choices in order to find better pathways in their life.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your introduction. So now let's move on to questions. My first question is on your screen. Can you tell me about your background and experiences as a mother, educator, and business owner?
Um, it's a very precarious balance as I do many things. Like I said, I'm an educator here in the States, but as a speaking ambassador for multiple international foundations, I also extend my teaching to nonprofit organizations in Bangladesh and India. And so I teach art and spoken word through various sister schools that also extend out from Bangladesh, which is guided by the Glory Future Foundation. I also teach in places like Soviet Georgia. Excuse me. I am the mother of two boys. They're both older. I have a 27-year-old and an almost 16-year-old. And they're both also very active community people that enjoy helping and helping others just have a better life path. Um, As a business owner, it kind of encompasses everything that I am and that I do, as far as being a energetic practitioner, an educator, and an artist. I'm a certified sound healing practitioner, and I also am certified in art therapy practicing. So I utilize all of those into my client practices that um, utilizes a variation of different guiding tools for bettering mental and physical health and moving those practices into like the creative process also. So helping people understand how to use their emotions into the creative process, and it helps people move through those much in a much more delicate manner, learning how to manipulate that from emotions into art or emotions into sound.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful answer. So now
Yeah.
let's move on to next question. My next question is on your screen. What inspired you to become a certified sound healing and art therapy practitioner?
Um, Really, it was, it's one of those stories that the sound healing found me before I found the sound healing. I actually bought my bowls that we use. We use the Tibetan quartz and bronze bowls whenever we do a service, and I bought them something like almost 2 years before I actually became a certified sound healer. And just the way that I was guided energetically through higher practices, however you want to look, God, glory, spiritual practices. I was just kind of guided into it that this is what I was supposed to do to help utilize my energetic effects and to a practice that was going to help others, and it was going to reach them in a way that was going to be a little more accepted into the practice. But really, I found the beauty in the sound and how it resonates and how it makes the body feel whenever you're doing the sound healing practice. I've always been an artist, so art for me is therapy. And so spreading that to the practice was just kind of something that happened because it's part of who I am as an artist.
All right, ma'am. That's great, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So now let's move on to the next question. My next question is, could you explain the work do you as global humanitarianism ambassador for organizations like United Humanitarians Organization and Glory Future Foundation?
Yes, absolutely. This was something that I kind of came into just along my life path. I do writing. And so many of the forums that I did recitation on as a writer and a spoken word performer, I would come in contact with teachers and organizers of different organizations, and we became known to each other, and apprised to each other's different facilitations that we did in life. And as an educator, I was asked to come on board with the Glory Future Foundation to just be an advisor to help kind of get the foundation known and awareness of what its purpose is. And the Glory Future Foundation's main purpose is to help children in situations that they don't have access to higher education or to better life paths. And it's to help instill that idealization that no matter what type of life situation you're in, you always have the mindset and the consciousness to move yourself into a better life path by way of thinking. And through the Glory Future Foundation is how I became involved with the international teaching. Um, and with the humanitarians organizations, excuse me, but the United Humanitarian Organization, I became involved with them, I would say probably about 6 months ago. And I was asked to join them as a cabinet member on the board to be a speaking ambassador of the United States. And so I'm one of a few that are stationed globally. I believe there is 15 of us total, but don't quote me on that because I'm not sure exactly how many members are on the cabinet. But I was very privileged. But at the time when I was asked to take this position, I was already very busy with doing a lot of work with the Glory Future Foundation and other extended services. So I wasn't sure at first if I was going to take it, but then I saw this as a growth opportunity for me to do things that I thought were going to be maybe a little difficult for me, and to learn new things, to learn how to practice different communication skills, different technology skills. And so I decided to do it because I felt like it was very important, and very important to have that global reach to teach and spread knowledge on things that I practice and know and I'm educated in, and to just help with the humanitarian efforts of spreading knowledge and encompassing world change.
All right, ma'am, that's amazing. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me your precious time. You said that you are very busy, but you give me time, so
Of
it's
course,
my pleasure.
it's very important. I'm very impressed with what you do. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. So now
Yeah.
let's move on to next question.
Yes, absolutely.
So can you share more about your emotions in art healing studios and how you use art to heal emotions?
Oh, this is very near and dear to me because, like I said, art is very important to me. I've been an artist since I was young. Um, I have galleried and done event wise, I've done over 300 different events and galleries, whether it was independent or a group event. And so for me, art being embodied by the healing practice is very important because, we all go through these things in life that cause us stagnancy in our lives, whether, it's pain, trauma, relationships, family. We all experience these things. And with the concept of emotions in art, you're connecting with yourself on a certain level of emotional vulnerability, and you're allowing yourself to connect with those parts, and then kind of like bringing it to surface, and you're putting it onto paper or canvas or in ink. And it just really helps with the whole experience of utilizing a concept that everyone is familiar with. Most everybody's creative. They have a creative source, they're able to tap into that creative source. And when you're able to rise emotions and put it onto paper, it can work in so many ways. It can heal you by allowing you to help release the emotions. It can, like a lot of my art carries like energetic signatures. So when you see it, it brings a peace or a calm, a sense of healing, happiness. And so uh, that that is how emotions into art works. And emotions in art healing studios was the brainchild of combining multiple components of myself and what I do.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So my next question is, how do you help people move through life challenges and what is the Just Heal movement you are involved in?
Well, as an energetic practitioner, you help release these emotions. And depending on what your spiritual or religious beliefs are, um, everyone's familiar with what an empath is. And these people who experience a higher empath ability help to kind of like relieve and transmute these emotions and this energy. And when that happens, it doesn't just affect the person within, it affects everyone that is also connected worldly, globally, and the ripple effect from it just extends. And so, being, and I got lost in thought. Can you repeat your question, please?
Sure, ma'am. I repeat question. My question is that, oh no, question is
It's okay.
missing.
I just want to make sure I
My
answer
question,
you
uh, my
appropriately.
question is, my question is that how do you help people move through life challenges and
Yeah.
what is the Just Heal movement you are
Okay.
involved in?
The Just Heal. It's very important. This is a movement that I just started, and I've created some not necessarily advertising material for it, but things that help inspire, stickers and things that can go on cars. And it says just that, just heal. Because whenever you just heal, you're allowing yourself space to revisit those places of you that are hurt and that need to be healed. And the Just Heal movement is is that you're just focusing on healing whatever parts of you need to be addressed, because in order to function wholly as yourself and for others, you have to be able to move emotionally through those places that are holding you and almost like a stagnancy. And so it just means holding space for yourself, because we're very busy every day, and that creates the narrative for us to be very compartmentalized, and those spaces and places are not always allowed to come to surface and allowed to be recognized. And so just heal is just allowing yourself to move through what you need to in order to heal and to be well and be whole.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your amazing answer. So
Mhm.
now let's move on to the next question. My next question is, what has been your most memorable experience from the 300 gallery showing and live events you have participated in?
Oh my goodness, that's a hard one. Um, my most memorable experience. I would have to say that probably the gallery that I held. We have several very large local libraries here, and they have very big galleries in them. And I held last year a, a showing called the Ascension series. And I'm about to release the next series and actually have a showing there in about 4 months. Um, but the Ascension series was a very important, energetically connected showing because it reached so many people. And the reason why it is the most memorable is um, the amount of people that I got to meet through it and the amount of feedback that I got from individuals on how they felt whenever they were in contact with my pieces, and knowing that the impact that this gallery had on individuals that were getting to view it. And we also held a sound healing practicing session at the Meet the Artist that I had during that event, and it was very impactful and enlightening, and helped so many people that got to participate. But that is a hard question because I've done so many events, and I would have to say that's probably my most memorable one.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your moment. So now let's move on to the next question. My next question is, how do you balance your role
Mhm.
as a writer, artist, teacher, and healer in your life?
Very precariously. I work a lot, and by a lot I mean I work when I work. I work when I'm relaxing, and not necessarily that this is a healthy practice for everyone, because we all need downtime, and I do take a respected downtime. But my focus is just on doing as much humanitarily and for my family and for myself as possible to promote well-being. And so um, I do have to make sure that my well-being is well and good in order to be able to do for everyone else. So I have a very scheduled calendar. Having a calendar that you put everything on is very important. Being as organized as you can is very important, but at the same time you have to be able to have some flow. So it's a very busy life, but I enjoy it.
That's great, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So now let's move on to the next question.
Mhm.
My next question is, what motivates you to become involved in sound healing and art therapy, and how do you see these practices benefiting individuals?
um Well, I had mentioned earlier my whole dive into getting into it was I originally found my sound bowls, and if you're familiar with them, they're quartz, and you can use quartz or metal, and you use gongs and mallets to play them in particular tones and frequencies. And I found this set of singing bowls in a friend of mine's shop that I had been doing an art gallery showing in. And I was so just inspired to purchase them that I didn't know what I was going to do with them at the time. But I loved the resonation of them, and just the feeling of them was exciting for me. And so um, it was one of those moments that I really didn't have the finances to purchase them because they're very expensive. But I found a way to work some art trade and part cash, and they came home with me that day. And so I did not know at the time just how inspired I was going to be and exactly what kind of impact bringing these sound healing bowls home with me was going to have. Because since that day, the impact on not just my circle around me, but extended circle, remote sessions that I do, free mini sessions that I do online. The ripples that happen from it are just so expansive that you don't think about it in the moment, but whenever you step back and you look at it, it's it's world changing. And so I feel like by moving in that direction, it made a great impact on many lives. Yeah, a very important impact. Yeah.
Amazing, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. So, what advice would you give to someone looking to pursue a similar path of combining creativity and healing?
Um, Really, it's if they're looking to move into the pathway of utilizing sound healing and creative healing, just do a little research. It's a movement that is very large right now because we're going through a very expansive global like consciousness shift, for higher thinking, higher emotional health. And so many people are looking into doing different holistic practices, but and sound healing and art therapy are a very small portion of these holistic practices. um, but I would say just look into what type of certification you want to get because there's several. There's many actually, and you can do just sound healing, or you can combine Reiki and energetics with it, and it depends on the individual because it depends on what level of. I use the term consciousness a lot, but the more consciously aware you are of your ability to have the impact on other people, it will help you understand like where you want to be on the spectrum of what you want to learn as far as like getting certified and things. And many people are just naturally drawn to these types of aspects. So just a little research, find a good reputable company to do your certification to because there are many out there, and many are just like doing these certification courses very quickly, and they're giving certificates out, and it's so find one that's reputable and that is very informative, that will actually educate you on the effects of sound healing. Mhm.
All right, ma'am, that's amazing. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your answer. And
Mhm.
thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your inspiring journey and insight with us today. It has been our privilege to have you as our guest. We appreciate your time and the valuable information you provided. And
Absolutely.
to our audience, thank you for joining us. If you have any further questions or would like to connect with ma'am, please feel free to reach out through the provided channels. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me your precious time again.
Thank you very much for having me, and best of luck with all of your future interviews. Great work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a blessed day. Take care.
Bye. Have a wonderful day ahead.